What's up guys, Gabe Sakala here, top producing real estate agent in the greater Charlotte area. I've always wanted to do one of these videos. The wired autocomplete videos seem like so much fun, and with the help of my girlfriend, we have created one for real estate agents. I have no idea what the endings are to any of the questions. I just have prompts. We have 4 prompts, and I'm going to give you my unsolicited feedback and answers on every single prompt. I've never seen these. This is the first time I'm seeing them. So without further ado, here we go. Is being a real estate agent stressful? Yes, really depends on what expectations you set with your clients up front and how well you prepare them for the process. Statistically, buying a home is considered one of the most stressful things the average person does in their lifetime. Extremely stressful if you don't know the process. So if you prepare your clients up front for things like what to expect with an inspection, how much wiggle room you're likely to get on a home based on the market that you're in, and just like setting reasonable expectations, if you do these things, you mitigate a lot of the stress up front. Most of the stress comes from not preparing your clients and then them pushing back on you for that. So I had a client who had never done an inspection. He'd never bought a house. He was very young. This was the first one he'd ever done. The inspection report ended up being 100 pages. Now, most people would say a 100-page inspection report, that's unbelievable. In North Carolina, that's very common. You can expect inspection reports between 70 to 100 pages and sometimes more based on the age of a home. But this home had 100, it stressed the heck out of him, and although it was actually a very good inspection report, he was extremely scared and he backed out of the contract. Due to my lack of giving him guidance of what to expect with the deal, what to expect with an inspection, I blew the deal, and I also blew the deal for him. Is being a real estate agent the same as a broker? A broker is an owner of a firm, typically, and he runs a real estate brokerage of agents themselves who are not brokers. You have to have a certain amount of experience to become a broker. You have to have a number of years under your belt. In North Carolina, you have to have 3 years of experience to be a broker. A broker runs a company and an agent runs his own business under the umbrella of a company and a broker. Is being a real estate agent a stable job? So depends on who you are. It depends on what attitude you like in life. If you like consistency and reliability throughout your schedule, doing the exact same thing every day, and knowing when you're going to be doing this task, and at 5 p.m. you can say, no, I'm done, I'm good to go, I'm going to the gym, and I don't need to worry about this at all. If that's the stability that you're looking for, this is not the job for you. If you're also looking for pay stability where every single month you bring in the exact same amount of money, you're not going to like this job either. I can guarantee you that. I've made 50 grand in a month. I've made 0 in a month. It really just depends what the market is doing at a given time, and you have to be ready for it at all times. So I would say if the stability that you're looking for is pay stability and consistency and scheduling stability, this is not the job for you. If you are someone like me who loves going to the gym and loves knowing that the more work you put in, the better results you will have, this is the job for you because your results are very consistent and stable to the amount of effort that you put in. If you're consistently trying to grow in real estate, you will have a stable business, you'll have stable income, and you'll be fine. And just being honest, I would much rather make 50 grand in a month and make 0 the next month, and then the next month make another 20 grand than make 4,000 to 5,000 a month and that's it, and I can't make any more. I would love the ability to make more and really put that onus on me, take responsibility for who I am and what I do, rather than expect somebody else to pay me a certain amount regardless of what I output. Is being a real estate agent worth it? Oh my gosh. Yes. It doesn't have to be a real estate agent, but sales, you gotta be in sales if you want to make a ton of money and you want to make an impact. When I was at a 9 to 5, I wasn't able to make the same impact because regardless of what I was doing a set of tasks and I was making an impact, but I couldn't see the financial dollar or the actual impact that I was making as much. Maybe that's just me. With real estate, every single house that I sell, it's an impact and something that, that client will never forget in their entire life. It's a huge deal. Buying or selling a home is one of the most important decisions you're going to make. And the honor that I get out of that, the gratitude that I get to be able to help them achieve their goals means the world to me. Real estate's like the fastest way to have a net worth of $1 million. And if I can help my clients get a net worth of $1 million, that's amazing. I'm here to help them. That means a lot. So yes, it's totally worth it if you're willing to work. It's not easy, and it's going to take you a little bit to build up your book of business and build your clientele. But once you do, if you keep working at it, it's a really good career. It gives you a lot of flexibility, and I'm forever grateful to be an agent. Can real estate agents lie about offers? Lie about offers. They can. They're not supposed to, but they can. I've had other agents lie to me about offers that they've received to try and get my clients and I to offer a higher amount than we were going to in the first place. Long story short, agents are not supposed to do this. This is extremely unethical and immoral, and it is against the North Carolina Real Estate Commission. You can't misrepresent offers and lie about information to deceive others. That's completely unethical and wrong. You have to go through ethics courses in North Carolina, and I assume most states, just to be in compliance with your license, keep your license active, and I would say that's totally unethical. So can they? They can, but is it wrong, and could they forfeit their license for it? Yes. Next we have, can real estate agents have tattoos? Yeah, I've seen many agents with tattoos. Yeah, there's no law that says you can't have tattoos, you can't express yourself. Can real estate agents work part-time? Absolutely not. I've never seen a real estate agent succeed in real estate if they're doing it part-time. The reason for this is your clients need you 24/7. When I started real estate, I tried to do it part-time for a little bit. There were a number of clients who wouldn't be able to see houses later in the day because they either worked at night, had kids and a family to attend to. They just couldn't do it. So no, you cannot be a part-time agent. You're going to lose out on a ton of business this way, and I highly advise against it. Can real estate agents fire a client? Absolutely. There have been several clients that before we even have engaged in a working relationship, I have told them we're not going to be a good fit. You have to be mindful of your time and the value of your time. If you're a fresh agent, I would advise don't fire anybody. Work with everybody because everybody's an experience. I am at the point where I sell a considerable amount of business. I have to be able to allocate that time efficiently so that I can give each client adequate time throughout the day. If I get a client that comes in, is super pushy, mean, does not respect my time, yes, I have fired people like that. There are a lot of times where clients call in and use agents as their punching bags, and if you're a new agent, it is very difficult to figure out how to deal with this. But once you deal with a few of these, you can kind of sense when someone's going to be a time waster, and then you just have to make a judgment call. Because if they're going to be a time suck, you're actually looking out for your other clients and their time, because you have to be able to provide reasonable time to the other clients that you have, because you know that your time is valuable, and if somebody else isn't going to value it the same, you don't have to work with them. All right, so that's board number one. We're getting rid of that. We have board number two. We got two final questions, and we have, do real estate agents work on weekends? When do we not work? I would say more showings happen on the weekends, more paperwork happens during the week. A lot of people work 9 to 5s, Monday to Friday. They can't get out of work. They're going to want to get to see some properties on the weekend, and this is when they're free. So you have to be available on the weekends. You don't need to free up your entire weekend, but if somebody calls in and wants to see a property, you have to try and make at least some time open for them. You can't be a closed book on the weekend because you're going to lose out on a considerable amount of business. But the vast majority of weekend work is either writing up contracts or showing properties. And during the week, it's a lot more paperwork, such as emailing, texts, following up, setting up campaigns for your clients for showings and houses, scheduling, calling new construction communities. That's kind of what you do during the weekdays, but on the weekends you're going to show and you're going to write contracts. Do real estate agents get drug tested? Not really, but sort of. We don't get drug tested. We don't actually have to take a drug test or, pee in a cup. None of that happens. It's not actually a drug test. We actually have to get our fingerprints taken. We send them into the lab. And once they're done and they have them and they're all good to go and they've checked that we're not some criminal history psychopath, then yes, we can be a real estate agent. We don't get drug tested, but they do a background check on us and they do get our fingerprints. So if something happens, I have my fingerprints documented through North Carolina, South Carolina, and they're documented in Florida because that's where I started in real estate. Do real estate agents have to go to college? No, you don't have to go to college. You just have to be 18 years or older to get your real estate license and start selling real estate. But I will tell you, it will be tough being that young because obviously as an 18-year-old, you're still a teenager. There are not many people that would be willing to buy a house from a teenager unless you are the cream of the crop, you're the best of the best. I started selling at 23 and people trusted me then. So if I was 23, you can do it at 18. And I believe you do need to have either a GED or a high school diploma. I think you need one of the two. And finally, do real estate agents actually do anything? Yes, we do a lot. Throughout the week, we send a ton of emails, we contact listing agents, we respond to buyer agent inquiries about our properties, we schedule showings, we research areas, we talk to clients who are out of state and looking for information on communities and properties and areas. We take video tours, we write contracts, we negotiate repairs, we schedule all of the repairs with our vendors, whether that's a contractor, an electrician, a plumber. We connect our sellers and buyers with all of our vendors so that they have them from the beginning of the transaction to the end of the transaction. Before the transaction, if they're looking to list and they want to do work on their property, we do so much, it's crazy. The amount of work that we do before even listing a property, getting one under contract, is nuts. I send about 500 texts per transaction from the beginning of a contract to a close per client. 500 texts. That's during the contract phase. So imagine how much work is done before you even contract and after contracting. There is so much work that goes into it. But yes, real estate agents do a lot. The good ones do a lot. The bad ones, they don't. Why are realtors important? Okay. If you are engaged in an extremely stressful transaction, your judgment is often clouded. By your reactions are clouded, processing ability is clouded. If you are a buyer buying a house and don't have a level mind with you who can speak to the facts and not allow emotion into the transaction, you are going to be very nasty to the seller, or you're going to be desperate. You are going to do something that you don't want to do. And same goes for the seller. There's so much emotion in a transaction, and it is important to have a middleman who can mitigate those emotions. It would be like working through a divorce and not having an attorney. Both sides are furious at each other. This party wants this party wants this. It would be impossible to work out the details if you didn't have someone who could base their information on the facts and keep emotion out of it. Not only are real estate agents great because obviously they know the process. If they're very good, they've done it a million times. They can take you from point A to point B extremely effectively, quickly, and without a hitch. That's an obvious. But the big thing that a real estate agent really is needed for, and why they are so important, is because they can take the emotion out of the situation and give you sound advice and feedback throughout the transaction. You will not have that if you're only dealing with people with emotion. You're going to be yelling at each other. It's going to be crazy. That's why, in my opinion, real estate agents are extremely important. Why are realtors quitting? Well, that's also a very easy question. Real estate agents quit because a ton of people have their license, and the amount of buyers going around for those agents, in the grand scheme of things, is not that much. And same goes for sellers. The catch beyond that is the top 10% of realtors do 90% of the work. Most agents have their license, pay the fees every year, and do 0 transactions. But the agents who do a ton of work, the top 10%, they are handling 90% of the transactions that are going on. So if you're not in the top 10%, it's very difficult to succeed. Why are realtors getting commission? Realtors get commission for a variety of reasons. The two biggest things that realtors do that is important to me, they provide sound mind while being confidently able to take a client from before transaction to closing and getting them into their home and telling them everything they need to know about the process. Real estate experts are experts basically in moving. They're experts in figuring out how to move from one place to another or get you into a home in the first place. The commission we get paid is for all that work that we do, all the questions that we answer, and giving you the resources we have after we get paid so that you still have the ability to utilize my connections and utilize my knowledge. It's a forever giving bank of knowledge and information that is far beyond the transaction, is super helpful for every client. Additionally, one other piece to why they get commission is because they don't get paid anything until closing. They're doing everything for free. They're putting their services on the line. They're putting their work and time on the line, and there should be a price for that. If you are confident that you can take a client from first inquiry to closing on a home and get paid at the end, and you're so confident that you can do it that you're not going to take any money until the end, to me alone, you deserve compensation for that. Why are realtors so attractive? To me, the answer to this is pretty simple. If you go to the store and look at 2 boxes of cereal with the identical cereal inside, same price and same nutrition facts, are you going to buy the box that is vibrant, has beautiful colors on it, and has a really pretty design? Or are you going to buy the box that is antiquated, old, and looks like it was made in the Stone Age? Of course you're going to buy the beautiful box. You're buying the cereal, but the box helps sell the cereal. I'm going to be as politically correct as I can. If you're out of shape, hair's a mess, facial hair's not trimmed, you're dressed in sweats and a t-shirt, nobody is going to trust you to take them through a real estate transaction. It's just the truth. Nobody's going to want to buy anything from you. But if you dress nicely, your hair is clean, your skin is smooth, you're in really good shape, people will buy from you simply because you look good and you are an image of somebody that they would aspire to be, or at least if they're already successful, somebody that they could see themselves engaging with. I personally would not trust someone to take me through a transaction or sell me something if they didn't take pride in themselves enough to be in shape, to look good, and to be ready to go. So simply put, real estate agents and salesmen are attractive because you gotta be attractive to sell. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions that you want me to answer in the next one, if you want another one of these videos or any search topics that you want me to add to the next video, let me know. I would love to do another one of these if you guys are into it. I hope this has been educational, entertaining, a little bit of fun, and has brought some joy to your day. So thanks so much. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk soon.